back. It's Friday, and we're here. It's Geek Out SA. We're finally back. I keep feeling like we weren't here last week.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're like on again, off again, right?
Yeah.
We were so good about like filming every week, but then you had PAX, and that wasn't my thing. And it's actually our youngest son who's here filling in for our normal producer. It's his thing. So he actually got to go with you while I went and did some other.
Yeah, I didn't line up the new intro. I should have put that in because I redid the intro.
You did. Is it?
But it didn't play tonight though.
Oh, it didn't play tonight. So that'll be something that we can show them next time, and you can talk about the new intro, and then you actually talking about like tech kind of stuff. You found a new like filter that you're using for some of your videos.
Oh,
and stuff too.
Yeah, that was cool. Over the last weekend, why we weren't on last week was because I was at PAX South, and 2017, and I just have to say it gets better and better every year, and there seems to be like more and more people every year. So it's I'm glad it's happening, and it's a lot of fun, and it's pretty cool and stuff like that. Stuff and things.
So yeah, you'll have to tell me a little bit about it because I wasn't there, so I don't know what you had going on.
Do you have me on live TV on live Facebook right now? Facebook Live?
I do have you on Facebook Live so that people can see kind of what we're doing live.
We're live now. I just saw the little thing. Yeah, if you haven't seen us before, we're a YouTube show, and we're actually streaming live right now on YouTube. So if you want to catch us there, you can catch us there. If you want to catch us, we're not going to do this all night on Facebook.
No, I'm not doing this for the whole thing. This is kind of a, like, come and check us out, and here we are, and here I am, and Nick's over there, our youngest son, behind the scenes, and a lot of the times it's Chris Pagonis. So talk like you would normally talk. Do the show.
So while we're streaming upon a stream, so went to PAX South 2017. It was phenomenal. It was awesome.
So tell me why, because I have no clue, because I wasn't there.
But you've been to PAX before.
Yeah.
PAX South. So Twitch had a big setup there, huge. I think it was bigger this year than it was last year, but bigger. It seemed bigger.
Last year, I remember they had the stage and they were interviewing people, and people were, of course, twitching their games live on Twitch. I don't know, it was Twitch.
Yeah.
I don't watch Twitch. Like, I do this whole YouTube.
But we've
thing
twitched
for
before.
Like we've
which
twitched,
is kind of cool.
We're gonna Twitch soon.
Yes.
On February the 11th, we're actually gonna Twitch, and we're gonna try to archive it and do it right this time, because the only time we've ever actually really Twitched was last year at this time.
Yeah.
And we actually do it for a tabletop game, not for a video game. We're actually doing it for the Star Wars Armada group that's here. So we'll talk about it more when we get there.
Yeah.
But
so there was a lot of like indie game companies that are showing off their games.
But on Twitch or
just all over the place.
Well, they had an indie showcase. Well, they always have an indie showcase.
They always have an indie showcase. They had a Australian indie showcase, which some.
Because they're like closer because we're south. Is that a thing or?
No, because they have a PAX Australia.
Oh, they do have a PAX Australia.
And I think they had like a select few that came from there over to PAX South.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
That was pretty cool, and we actually got to interview a couple of them. One for Hand of Fate. The other one was.
Do you remember, Nick, what the other one was?
Death Square. I think it was Death Squared. Yeah, and we have interviews that I'm still cleaning up the video because at PAX they don't keep it super bright there because they're trying to bring attention to the games.
Right, and they have all these lit up displays and stuff,
right.
So it's actually dark there dark-ish in the convention center. It's not super dark, but it's
so
darker.
When you go through and it's real and you take some video of it, unless you have like a super high-end camera that has a good sensor on it, you get grainy video. Unless you can do something about that. And the good thing about that was I was going through, I was like, oh man, these videos are trash. They're trash because
Yeah, you were pretty mad.
they're completely grainy, and I didn't know what to do, and I started doing some searching, and I saw there was some stuff that you could do with Premiere Pro that that would help it. So I tried that, and I was just like, that didn't do anything. Not enough to make a difference. After it was done, it was still grainy. So I found this software. Hello from Vegas. Hey, how's it going, Chris? It's the Boss Squad.
The Boss Squad.
Chris Hernandez. So he was recently on our show a while back.
Yep.
So he's out there in Vegas selling some T-shirts and doing some promotion stuff. So that's pretty good. So good for you. Have fun out there in Vegas. Wish I was with you. Gambling, making money. That'd be cool. Sort of. But going back to PAX South 2017. So
go back to your software.
Oh, software. So I was looking for it, and I found this plugin for Premiere Pro and it's for other video editing softwares, but it's called Neat Video.
Neat, like
NEAT Video.
Okay.
So just look. If you look that up, you'll find in the.
I guess because it cleans it up, right? So it makes it nice and neat.
So you go in, your video's completely grainy, and like within 10 seconds of setting it up, you can clear out all that video, and then it has to render, and then you have to save it, which saving like 5 minutes of video comes out to be like almost 40 minutes. But I mean
But it's 40 minutes
rending.
of time versus scrapping a whole interview that you did and not even getting to use it.
Yeah.
Which is what we used to have to do before. So I like this aspect, and I'm glad that we can talk to other YouTubers, and I hope other YouTubers are watching this so that they know, because a lot of them that are starting out started where we did. Like, if people went back and watched some of your first videos from when you were there,
they were trash.
Stuff, oh my God, they were so horrible.
So much trash.
So much trash.
Compared to what we have now.
Yeah, it sounded like you were like in a bucket.
Mm-hmm.
The video quality was super horrible. Like, they were awful. Like, the content was pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, you talking with McKenna and with Love Vivian and everything, the content was good.
Or Kayla, because we couldn't.
Because you could never remember to stop calling her by her name so she wouldn't get stalkers. But but the content was good.
She didn't get stalkers from us. She just.
And I used to hate it when you did the Google Hangouts. Like, I know a lot of people still do the Google
Yeah.
Hangouts, but there was just always so much dropping and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be your next project. So if other YouTubers want to help him out or whatever, because we have a lot of people, especially in the tabletop gaming industry, that would love to do interviews with us on the show.
Yeah.
But we haven't figured out how to get them on the show because they're in other states and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So to get them on the show when we do
it's
the live
difficult
show.
to do it because you really have to go in and make sure, like, even just the audio from their voice won't be synced up. It's really not synced up with the video when it finally comes to where we can display it on the stream. So that's one thing that we need to figure out. That shouldn't be too bad. It just would be like delaying audio, because audio is easier to transfer over than video.
Well, and I know another thing that you were looking at, and you had kind of looked at it for a while, and then you kind of like stopped for a while because you get like all these projects in your head, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna do this, oh, I'm gonna do this, oh, I'm gonna do that, oh, shiny, oh, squirrel, right? So I know you were looking at a way for like people to call us during the show rather than just like, you know, like type messages to us. Like,
yeah.
Be a caller on the show or whatever. That might be interesting if we ever got to that point. If you figured out how to do that, that might be funny. We would just have to be careful. Like, you always worry about what somebody's going to say. Like, I will never forget this, and you guys have probably not seen this because this is a super old episode, but like a long time ago when Vincent and them were at Geekdom, this random dude just walked into the room.
Oh, yeah, that was...
and he just started talking.
Awkward.
And he was just like on the show, like, because it's live, right? So what are you going to do? And he just walked in and like sat down and made himself at home, and it was very strange.
He was weird, really weird.
Like,
Because then he started talking about like killing cats.
He was weird.
And I was like, Yeah.
We were all.
That's cool.
Okay, we're gonna lock. Those of us that were in the sound booth, we were like, we're gonna lock the door, and y'all are by yourselves. Good luck.
I hate when that happens. But yeah, no, I'm totally digging it. It's gonna be. It'll be
so
fun
I think the
when
more
we do
that you
something
find
like that.
this type of stuff, just kind of sharing it with the other YouTubers out there, and then like letting them know, hey, this is what we found, this is what works.
But definitely neat video. Check that out. If you ever get grainy video, I mean you'll get it if you do any video in like dark places, unless you have a super high end camera. And usually what we do, and I forgot to bring my lighting this time. If I had my lighting, we wouldn't have had grainy video, but I forgot it.
Well, and then you said the other thing that was really good, because I don't know if people know that when you go mobile, you use the iPad mini.
Yeah.
Right?
This one right here.
So the other thing that you said was
Apple,
good
give me money.
was your kangaroo. Is that what it's
Oh,
called?
my kangaroo PC. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was Saturday, and of course we're doing a bunch of video, and there are a bunch of long videos. So I had a ton of stuff on the iPad that I needed to get off, because we started the third part of one of the interview with Alienware, which Alienware was really cool. But yeah, well, and I'll post those videos once I finish cleaning them up. I'm just about done. They're looking pretty darn well for them being grainy, and they're all cleared up, so that's awesome. But what was I talking about?
That you had like no storage left on your
Yeah,
iPad.
I had no storage left on my iPad. So I was getting it. I was like, oh, maybe I can do some like minor video editing, cutting, and stuff like that. But no, I get there, and I was like, oh, well, I have my Kangaroo PC. Maybe I can like link them to my Kangaroo PC and pull off all the videos that are already on here, so I can finish doing interviews.
I didn't even think to talk about this, but since we were talking about tech, I wish you had the Kangaroo PC, and I don't even know, we set it down somewhere, but
It's over by the TV.
it's like the size of your cell phone.
Oh yeah.
It's a tiny
It's like
thing.
maybe that much longer.
Yeah.
That much wider, and then probably maybe that thick.
And it's a computer, like
Yeah, it's a whole Windows computer.
it's crazy to me.
And then you use the iPad as its monitor.
That's so crazy.
So, but when I was there, I didn't have a lightning cable, and luckily one of the media people that were there had one, and they were, oh yeah, here you go. And they let me borrow it, so I transferred everything off of there.
Nice.
So it was perfect, so perfect. So
You need a
it worked out
surplus of
perfect.
lightning cables.
I
you
do.
Never have enough
I
lightning
do. I
cables.
need like 2 or 3 of them.
I think they walk away. They hide. They're like the elves that take your socks. They take your lightning cables too. So
I need them like attached to like bags to where it like retracts after you're done with it.
so that you're not laying it down somewhere or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Somebody come up with that. If not, I'll come up with it, and then.
Or like a lightning cable that's like a bracelet or something, so that you just wear it all the time. And then
Yeah. Well, they have like they have flash drives that are like that are bracelets.
Oh yeah, because you can, right? Yeah, I've seen those. So maybe you should start. They should do a lightning cable that's like that too, so that you can just have it with you at all times. Somebody comes up with something like that, because like my kids at school are always asking me, do you have a charger? Do you have a charger? Do you have a charger? Do you have a cable? I have this part of the charger. They have like the plug-in part, but not the cable. I'm like, why? Like, why? So yeah, something that you could wear that would then turn into like your plug, so that you would have it on you and you wouldn't forget it.
Yeah.
I think that would be, so somebody invent that. I just gave it to you, it's for free. But I'm too lazy to make it myself. So. Nick's over here going on.
Make it like a key ring or something.
Well, they have those backpacks that are solar powered, and they have like the wires inside of them. You can plug the USB port into this backpack, and then it charges it with solar power. You can plug your phone into it.
I saw that, but it doesn't charge like super quick. That's the only thing. Like those kinds of things are, which is not bad. It's not terrible, but I mean, it's another thing that you could have, because those
A
the
belt.
cables are in.
A belt.
Yeah, but then you'd have to take your belt off.
Yeah, but it's just a belt. Because then you just pop the prongs out and then plug it in.
Yeah, or maybe it's your belt, but it like snaps into the belt or something. But then, of course, you'd have to remember to put it back in the belt. Yeah, so there we go again.
Well, the prongs are going to be in the belt buckle, and then you plug it in, and then the wires go under on the inside and come out the front. So then you can just...
I mean, yeah, I think that's a good idea. I actually don't think that's a terrible idea. I think.
Or you could plug in right there.
I'm waiting
whatever.
for like purses to start coming with them. You know, for ladies' purses to have these connections in them or something. Like,
yeah.
We are so technology driven at this point. Like, I figure more and more of our accessories are going to be places for us to plug in. Like, more businesses and stuff are getting to the point where they have charging stations. Malls have charging stations. Even our school library.
Oh, Bosquaz says Geek Out SA rules. Thank you.
Thanks. So, were there any games? Because you haven't really played a whole lot of video games in a long time, just for because of time purposes.
A lot of time purposes.
But were there any games that you went by and you thought, now that's a game that I've got to like move my schedule around and try to find some time to play?
I like Loot Rascals when I played that. No, I didn't even get to play it. I got to see it, but it looked fun. No, I did get to play it. I did play it. Yeah, I did. It was fun, and I think you would like it because it's kind of like a hack and slash kind of Final Fantasy turn-based kind of system, but it does it in hex. It's a hex map where it's going through, because a lot of these games that I saw there, a lot of them had inspiration from tabletop games. There's a lot of these video game designers that are big into tabletop games.
Which I
and I've asked them.
Interesting because historically there hasn't been as much crossover of.
But from what I hear, is that's how they're teaching design is through creating board games first. And that's the new way how they're doing it. They're teaching board games, and so they know the basics of what it takes to make a game, just from start to finish.
Well, I was trying. So one of my kids bought the D&D starter set. Okay, and they had talked to me before, and I had told them that I helped create tabletop games. So they brought it in because they thought I would just know how to play D&D, right? And I was like, guys, I haven't played D&D since, like, consistently since I was, like, 14, and I'm, like, 43. So, I've played it, like, off and on, but I've never been, like, the GM. I don't personally like, all of the rolling and everything, and they have a lot of spells and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
So I was trying to read it, and I'm just the worst. I'm the worst. I hate game mechanics. I just hate them. I want to be like Calvin and Hobbes and like have no rules and just change stuff up in the middle of the game. I'm the worst. Like, I'm the worst. So we're playing. I was like, they didn't quite get the concept of D&D, but they've seen it now on Stranger Things, right? Because now they're all in love with Stranger Things, and it became popular because of that.
Well, I mean, there's been like a steady roll-on of like tabletop games. I think one of the first things I saw it on was on Community.
Yes.
Where they started playing D&D there.
And they were dressed up. It was hilarious. So the kids, I'm trying to explain the role-playing part, right? So I'm like, okay, we're going to pretend like we're in a tavern and like we're a party and we've adventured before. We like, kind of tolerate each other, but we don't like each other. And they're like picking up because they've heard all this. So they're like, okay, I'm an elf and I'm a dwarf and I'm a fighter and I'm a this. And I'm like, okay. So I'm just going with it, right? And then I'm like, and then a pirate walks in and he sits down at our table and he's like, buy me some ale, matey. And then one of the little boys is like, well, I'm going to stab him. And I'm like, okay, try. And I'm like, well, shoot, I don't know what the rules are. I'm like, okay, roll. So I make him roll, and I'm like, and he rolls like an 8 or whatever, and I'm like, well, you had like a -1 or whatever, so you totally didn't make it. So you stabbed him, but you stabbed him in the leg. And he's like, me what a leg. Well, at least I have an extra knife for me fight later. Are you going to buy me some ale? And so I can tell you me stories or not? And then they all start laughing and they're like, yeah, buy him ale. And so we played for 20 minutes like that. I have no idea what the rules are. I was just totally making up rules and like having them do saving
Wow.
throws. And if I felt it like went with the story, I would like let it happen. I was like, oh, that was a good roll. Like, yes. So I probably, like, they totally love D&D, but we totally played it wrong. And so then I was like, one of y'all should probably go read the rules so that next week we can play it correctly. So supposedly they were going to go try to read the rules and then play it correctly. But that's my, like, favorite part of tabletop gaming is the role-playing. Like, I like the sitting around and, like, telling the story and being part of the story. I'm totally not good with game mechanics. So I think that's one of the reasons why I'm not so great with video games.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. We're on Geek Out SA right now, and
Facebook Live.
I was sideways like that, but it didn't. Well, I'm on Facebook too.
But I already
So
did
people
Facebook Live. For
people
Geek
are
Out
on there.
SA. Why are you doing another one?
Well, because I have a lot more. I have a lot more friends.
But you did it on Geek Out SA. It's the same number.
So we're on Geek Out SA. So you should totally check us out on geekoutsa.com. You can also check us out on YouTube because we're live right now talking about some awesome stuff. So check it out. www.geekoutsa.com. Hey, how's it going, Chris? Chris Maynard, how's it going? Check us out on YouTube. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're awesome. Check us out. Bye. See ya. Hee hee. So hopefully we'll get more people to start watching. Well, I always have to set up all the stuff in the background. I don't ever get to do the live video unless you're not here. Well, because you are not. Because I have to wait for y'all. Y'all are late. Lucky. So getting back to PAX South 2017. So yeah, no, I quite enjoyed it. The San Antonio game developer, game devs, was really cool. We had Angel out there with Hebe Studios. We had Rick Stem out there with Heroes Must Die. And there was a CC, which are like high school kids, and they created like a dating simulator game, which was really cool, and got a lot of play. But yeah, I was out there, talked to Alienware, talked to a bunch of game developers. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun. What did you? Because Nick was there with me. Friday?
Well, you got to play. I was going to actually talk to Nick. Do you have your mic on so people can hear you?
Is this my mic?
Yeah. You got to actually play with the Nintendo Switch, right?
Yes, I did get to play with the Nintendo Switch.
I didn't get to play with Nintendo Switch.
Didn't get to, so we were going to ask you a couple of things.
I got to see it, and don't say about what it looks like. Just tell me about how you liked it, because I'm going to go over what I thought of how it looked.
Well, it was very interesting. First of all, I like Nintendo's setup there, because what they did is to show how you can use it in all different settings. They set up like a cafe and train and
that was
like
really
a
cool.
bus,
Yeah,
and you could get into like these little compartments and play the Switch in these different areas.
Oh, that's
It was
cute.
amazing.
That sounds fun.
And then they just had a big area where they had a whole bunch of them set up.
hey, Geeky Hoodie.
And I really liked it. The controllers were kind of strange because you're so used to, real gamers.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I want to call anybody a real gamer, but people who use, PlayStation 4, Xbox One with the controllers, they're used to their hands being so close together. And with the Switch, it feels like a real controller, but you can have your hands as far apart as you want. So you kind of like, you're in that crouch position where you kind of want to put your hands together, but you can't. Or, well, you can, but you kind of have to, you can be more relaxed.
Well, it's kind of like the nunchuck thing.
Is it like a controller for each hand kind of thing?
Kind of, yeah. And there are some aspects where you can move it around like a nunchuck, but not really. It's kind of like...
Well, I thought it connected to... You said you saw what it looked like. I thought
Yeah.
it connected. Tell us what it looked like.
Okay, here's the thing. Here's my first thing. It's a lot smaller than it looks.
It's a lot
lot
like
smaller.
In person?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's actually a little bit smaller than an iPad Mini. And what it is, you have it's a tablet. It's an NVIDIA tablet, and that you can connect controllers to. So if you want to, you can take it as like a mobile gaming thing. Like it's a Game Boy, but it's also a full console as well. Which I have a problem with that because all the power is in that tablet. That tablet's going to be obsolete by the time everybody gets their hands on it.
Well, yeah, but the tablet goes into another thing, which then hooks up to your TV or
Right, it's a dock.
So it's a dock. So you can, if you really wanted to, you don't have to take it on the go with you. You can hook it up and set it up on your TV and play it there exclusively.
Yeah.
But you can also take it out of the dock and use that little tablet.
So you can do either or, and
so the
and I
tablet's
think
what makes it mobile, like.
Yes.
So is it taking place of like the DS and stuff, or it's just a different?
It's kind of. Have you seen the Wii U?
Like vaguely.
It looks like the Wii U's big tablet that they have, where it has a screen and the controllers, except you can take the controllers off.
And then you dock the tablet and then you wave them around almost nunchucks.
but what it seems like is they're trying. That's what's going to replace both their console and their mobile.
Yes, they can just package 2 in 1.
I don't know if they'll ever be able. People are so in love with the DS.
Mm-hmm.
I would think that the DS is probably, and I haven't looked at their numbers, but I would think the DS is probably a bigger seller for them than any console that they have. Especially with Pokemon games.
This is 2 in 1. But that's where they're gonna put the new Pokemon games.
Yeah, and plus there already is a sort of a new Pokemon game on the Nintendo Switch for its one of the release titles. It's gonna be the same as the one that they just came out with, Sun and Moon, but it's gonna have
your hand is like right in front of the. You're like when you're going like this.
Me?
Yeah.
It's gonna have like new exclusive Pokemon and like all kinds of weird stuff. They haven't exactly released much about it, but it's gonna be new stuff.
And this one is the first one that has no media.
And then play it correctly, but
How did that happen?
my favorite part. That's so weird. What the heck? Like
What's
all
going
the
on?
technology keeps going off in here.
That was weird.
Weird technology ghost or something. Very strange.
That was really weird.
So you think they're gonna try to replace all of it?
I don't know. I think their handheld systems are too popular.
But this is becoming the handheld system.
It's too big though. My DS can fit in my pocket. That can't.
I would think that's a selling point. That's
But
problematic.
it can play. One of the coolest features about it is that it does have branding of it has Nintendo branding obviously, but the games that are played on it are games from every system. They have Skyrim and they have like BioShock and all kinds of different games that you'd normally see on PlayStation exclusives or Xbox or one of those
because
big
it's all
things.
digital
But
now?
yeah, because all they have to do is they ask for the licensing and then they just put it on there.
But here's what they're going to do from a marketing standpoint. Because they don't sell as many consoles, but they do sell handhelds, right?
Mm-hmm.
They just don't make any more handhelds, and you have to, if you want a handheld, you're going to have to buy the new Switch.
Yeah, but wouldn't it make them even more money if they made a Switch and a handheld, and then you could have both of them?
No, because the console is going to make way more money
I think
if
we'll
you
just
do
have
it
to
that
watch
way.
them and see what they do. So we're split. Some of us think that Nintendo's gonna go straight
Yeah,
to the Switch.
Colleen looked like she's got a stretching power because your hand was like there,
because I had my
and then your
leg
hand
up.
was like real big, and then it,
Well, because I have a problem with like sitting on my legs, and I was sitting on my legs, but then my legs were tired, and then I put my knee up, and I don't know, I'm real.
and now
wiggly
she's gonna
tonight.
bump the camera.
Yes, and that's one of the things I was trying to prevent is I put my long legs out, and then I bump the camera, and then my camera's all tilted and wonky, and I don't know, and I'm really wiggly tonight. And I'm trying really hard not to be, and I'm having a problem not being really wiggly tonight. So.
Yeah, Adam says that was crazy with her hand. Also, not sure if my feed or not, but Colleen's mic is really low, or sounds like it's not on. Vince, you sound good, and like the shirt there, bro. Thank you. So maybe you need to like move your mic a little bit closer toward the middle,
Enunciate.
or put it like towards the middle.
There, is that better?
I don't know.
Is your mic on? Did you check your mic pack was on?
I checked my
It's
mic
not
back.
just,
It's got power.
But it doesn't
not
have like the
saying
mute
it's
on.
ads or something.
It doesn't have the mute on.
Me?
Yeah. What does it have on there?
I don't know. It says power channel B33.
Yeah, you're good. And do you hear?
Yeah, I can hear through the.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now, Nick?
Yeah.
Nick, I'll
And
ask.
the thing's going up.
So yeah. So you should be good now. But you always seem to like put it over here, and when you talk like this, you're not gonna hear you. Or if you talk like over this way, they're not gonna hear you either.
Oh,
So.
okay. I wasn't talking very loud either because.
Let us know if you can hear her, because we're trying to work out that mic stuff. So I think we sound louder than we did the last time we...
I don't know. I'm trying not to talk really loud because then I get overly excited. And
Still
then I get,
sounds like it's in a can.
well, maybe it's too close.
Strange.
I don't know. I'll try to talk louder.
Try and make sure it's
Ask
like...
him if that's better. This looks like it was. I plugged it in and she instantly got louder.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like a little loose, I guess.
Oh.
Oh, so maybe it was back on that side. So
Yeah.
now we
Okay.
may be good. So let us know if
I
we
don't know.
sound better.
I'll try to enunciate.
So it should sound better.
And I'll try to talk louder. But then I worry that I talk too loud because I tend to talk too loud. And then it gets like all, Ella, I'm screaming.
We can't hear her. You pushed it in,
Yeah, I pushed it farther in.
but you can hear her.
And now I can hear her louder than I did before.
Okay. So maybe it's good, or maybe you need to move it back to where it was. There you go. Yeah, okay. They got you now.
At least somebody's listening to me.
Yeah, at least somebody's listening to you.
Unlike
so
Vincent,
that's
who does
kinda
a
cool.
Facebook Live video right in the middle of my story. But that's fine. It's okay. It's not a
He has a
problem.
short attention span, that's fine.
It's all right. He has a short attention span. He has a longer attention span than I do. So, Mr. Attention Span. Overall, Nick, what did you think of Switch? A yes or a no?
I think yes, because I love Nintendo and I'm a consumer, so I'll pretty much eat up whatever they put out.
But what about the aspect of the games? You don't. I guess I was trying to understand this the last time we talked about it. You don't buy the games and own the games. You just kind of buy them and they're on your account for a little while.
No, well, I'm sure they were going to have some of those, but when you buy it, it should be attached to your account.
Yeah, it just depends on the game, I guess. It's like there's a lot of different things. There's demos but there's like on the new Nintendo.
But
systems,
there's going to be a new like Nintendo network thing.
Is
So
it like
where-
that? Is it like Steam?
Like
kind
Xbox.
No, it's like Xbox Live.
It's like
But you
Xbox
have to
Live
actually
or
pay for it.
PlayStation
But
Store and
it's
stuff like
actually
that.
super cheap. It's like
Like cheaper than the Xbox and
yeah,
stuff?
it's-
Oh, okay.
It's like a couple dollars cheaper a month for
Oh.
Xbox from Xbox and PlayStation.
So it's kind of something that people are already used to. So if
Yeah.
you're like a gamer, you're already used to it. It's not really a big deal.
Yeah, it's just a couple more bucks to add on
Oh, okay.
the stuff you're already paying for.
I've never done it like that. Like I haven't played
So Patrick
since
says,
like Champions
"Oh, I'm
and
late."
stuff. Patrick.
Hi, Patrick.
How could you? No. Thanks for watching,
But now you're
Patrick.
there. and now you can hear us both, so that's kind of cool too.
And now you can hear me trash on Riverdale. Oh no, we're not there yet.
We're not there yet. So that was cool. They have Nintendo had a really cool setup. I don't. It's just so huge there at PAX. It's just a big place.
It's a convention. That's kind of a thing.
No, but they take up more of the convention than any other convention
You think
that
so?
I've seen. Yeah.
They seem with the one time that I went, they seem to fill it up just because they have such big setups. I don't know that they take up more of the convention center per se.
Yeah, they do. Because it's not just that place, because they have rooms all over the place. All over the convention.
Plus, Henry B is bigger now. It's a bigger convention.
Oh yeah, I
center.
know.
Yeah.
I went to the science convention there for science teachers. It's a convention for science teachers.
I don't know if they took up that much space, but they took up quite a bit.
Yeah, but the convention for science teachers was like the national, so it was like
Yeah.
everybody. It wasn't like PAX is now a little more like here's PAX East and here's PAX West and here's PAX South, so that they're not getting as much of that
huge crowd, which you kind of want because you don't want to be like drowned to death.
Patrick says mind control via microtransactions and non-physical ownership of software. Yeah, that's kind of what they're doing now.
It's kind of what everybody does.
Yeah. I don't play, so I'm not concerned.
I mean, everybody's they're doing it with movies and with Netflix, so you can just stream this stuff. You don't necessarily own it, but you can see it pretty much whenever you want until they take it off.
I mean, it's good for some of us who happen to be kind of hoarders. Not exactly hoarders, but kind of. Like, you and I have a ridiculous amount of movies. Like, real stupid amount.
Yeah,
I mean, it's become like a decoration in our house practically, so I don't mind it so bad.
There's some movies that just won't be on Netflix.
Well, yeah, because we're old, so we have some old stuff.
Because they're not going to have the majority of the Disney stuff, which means they're not going to have...
Oh, well, yeah, because Disney makes all the money by making us buy it, so of course Netflix is not going to have it, so yeah. Yeah. Totally that kind of stuff. And then a bunch of, like, the older stuff they don't really have because it doesn't seem relevant. Well, you would think that they would put... Well, I was going to say, you would think that they would put more of it because...
They have that kind of stuff, like Nosferatu and like super old school.
Like super old.
It's like classic stuff that people are going back into and checking out.
Yeah, yeah. But like obscure, you know. Mm-hmm. Like I am totally looking for Little Giants. I want to find that. Like from when y'all were little. I love that movie. It's so cute. But it'll be just another one of the 9 million movies that sits there and just like is basically decorating the wall of our house. Because there's so much new stuff. We watch all the new stuff.
Yeah.
That we never hardly ever go backwards. Like every once in a while I get like boy overload because I live in Boyland. And so every once in a while I'll go backwards like when I'm by myself and I'll have to watch like Sound of Music or Dirty Dancing or Spanglish or 50 First Dates or something like that. You know. But most of the other movies... There's new installations. There's new X-Men coming out. Like, I can't wait to see Logan. I'm just dying to see Logan. It's going to be
That's going to be cool. But we digress.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So, another cool aspect of PAX South is they have a huge tabletop area. Huge. Mm-hmm. And that's has grown from year to year. It was bigger this year than it was last year. Mm-hmm. And it's like all day long. There was like hardly an empty seat there. Even on Saturday, when you think people would be out watching stuff, and even what were they showing? Overwatch. Mm-hmm. And there was a crowd over there, but there was like just as many playing tabletop games.
That's good.
Organized and just free play too.
That's good.
Every once in a while, you find a couple of free spaces that you could just chill at.
I'm always glad to see people doing tabletop gaming just to see them like there in person interacting with one another. So for me, I like the tabletop aspect. I know a lot of people are like, well, you know, you get to be on your mic and you talk to people and you talk to your friends or whatever when you're gaming. But I just think there's something different about being in person and being there and like seeing, you know, facial expressions and social nuances and stuff that...
Well, you can still do that kind of stuff. Like Matt, Ben and I, and Zach, and Maui, and Michelle, we all played Gears of War 4 the other day. We had basically a New Age LAN party, where we all went over to his house and brought our TVs and our game systems, and we had 4 or 5 TVs set up in the same room, and we just talked to each other. And
it's weird. I find it super weird.
It's awesome. It's fun, because we don't have to use the big, bulky mics that hurt our ears, and we get to actually be there in person, so if we're hungry, we can all take a break and go out to eat somewhere.
I mean, it's cool, but, like, not a lot of people have that same luxury that you guys all do, having, like, you know, several siblings and then offshoots of friends of your siblings' friends, and y'all all just kind of happen to get along, and you make this big group. So that's a different kind of socialization. But I have seen people do that before, have these big kind of, like, quasi-LAN parties or whatever, where they'll bring the several TVs.
I missed PAX, but was there a lot more of a push on mobile games or still on traditional stuff? It's more it was more traditional stuff. It's more PC and console stuff.
Yeah, that first year I don't remember seeing hardly any app
there's
games.
Also like Heavy Studios that does Rage Ball, which they just released their Rage Ball, and you can buy it on HebeStudios.com. They released Rage Ball. You can buy it for like, I think it's like $12.95 or something like that. But it's eventually going to be on Android and the iPhone and iPad
And the Wii.
and the Wii. So I mean, they're coming along.
So I think there is a lot of
cross
pollination, right? Where they're trying to get either these app games to a place where they're on PC or on console, or start with the console and bring it back down to where it's an app game.
And what's cool is, what is it? I think Death Square. Death Square. They just sent me a code for Steam. That same code is going to work on Xbox to be on that console. And it's also going to work on PS4. So on all three of those systems, I can use the same code to access that game.
Oh, cool.
So that's kind of cool.
Were you going to say something?
Yes, there's a new Fire Emblem phone game. Fire Emblem is this very popular RPG, kind of tile-based or movement-based. I'm not quite sure. I've never actually played it, but my friend Ben is super into it. And they have a ton of games, and they've been on the...
See you later, Thomas.
Systems.
He's got to go somewhere. He's going to bail, but he's going to watch the playback.
Bye, Thomas.
Later.
They're mostly on like mobile devices. Ben plays on his 3DS, or that's been on the Wii and other consoles. And so they just came out with a phone game for it, and it kind of connects all the games together. The story for this one connects to the old story from the last game.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know if it's going to be like, to get the full story, you're going to have to play the phone game, or if the phone game is like an offshoot of a different story, or how it's going to be, but it like adds...
Probably, I would think to get the full story, you would have to play the phone game, right? Because then they're trying to drive you to that phone game, or they're trying to drive the people that like the phone game to go, if they like the story, to go get the other offshoots of the story on that. So that is a new...
Or they push you to the mobile, then you can do the microtransactions.
Yeah.
But then you can do the microtransactions on anything anyway. Because you can do it on Xbox. You can do it on PS4.
So y'all didn't see a lot of that at PAX, but I definitely see a lot of that on the horizon, where it's like these...
Well, I mean, there's a lot of them that do all of this stuff, that do PC, that do the consoles, and they can easily be transformed. I think the same thing works for... Another keep watching. I'm going to be releasing videos here so you can watch them, and because I don't want to give everything away before you get to see it all. So keep watching, because I'm going to be releasing them through this weekend, and that should be cool. But yeah, no, I quite enjoyed it. And I got to talk to the Alienware people, and
they gave you a present, which you were always happy.
And so did Death Squared too. They gave me a present too. Gave us a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So that was neat.
That was nice.
Their game was fun too.
So you're running out of time. You talked a lot. You only have 15 minutes left. Did you want to open your loot crate, or?
Yeah, there's a couple things we need to do with that. But before we get to what we're talking about next, I'm going to open up my loot crate.
Okay.
Which I've already seen Hoodie open this one up, so I already know what it's going to be.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
so Hoodie is doing his loot crate reveals.
Look at the size.
It looks kind of smallish.
Okay, but what is it about the size of?
It's a rectangle. It's a coffin. It's a black box. I don't know.
Just think thinner than this.
It's like that 2001 Space Odyssey thing. Is that what it is?
Let me just open it, all right?
I don't understand where he's going. This is why we can't play Pictionary together.
Dad forgot a huge part of PAX South, which is the reveal of Resident Evil 7 and their huge booth.
Yes.
Which was
They
beautiful.
we were there Thursday because we're doing pre-PAX. Well, we did
That
pre-PAX
looks like
night.
Superman on the inside.
Well, it does look like Superman. It is Superman.
How was I supposed to get Superman from a rectangle?
It's not Superman.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Anyway,
it's not
Resident
that.
Evil. Resident Evil. Tell me.
Resident Evil. Okay, so we were there Thursday night, and they had carpenters building this building inside the convention center. It was a whole house.
They built the whole front of the house inside the convention center.
Shut the front door.
An old, beat-down, worn-out house because in Resident Evil, you like it's set in one house, and you go in and you like get kidnapped and all this crazy stuff happens, but it's based inside the house, so they built the house from the game.
Oh my god.
Inside with real carpenters
But
and like.
I have always
tables and
loved
stuff.
Resident Evil, like, in theory. Like, I want to play them, and every time I try to play them, they make me throw up. Like, I want to play them so bad. Like, they look so cool.
So it's about the size of a.
Oh,
Comic
of an
book.
action comic. That's really, really awesome.
So this is number 1, Action Comics.
Yeah, you can't see that on the green screen.
Yeah, here, pass it to me.
Oh, or just the car, I bet.
Yeah.
It's not my face. So
You
this
know
is not
anything about that
this is not the original, obviously. This is a
No, it's not
remake.
the original, but it's the very first.
What do you mean? Don't open it. I'm gonna
I'm gonna
read
read it.
Don't open it. Are you crazy?
Wait, should we have a contest?
Well,
Do we
it's not- I
open
mean,
it?
it's
and
not
read
worth
it? It's not
any-
worth anything.
It's
a
not worth
remake.
like what the real one is for worth. But yeah, that's
No,
the
now you
first
got me
one-
concerned about opening it, Nick.
That's the first that's actually before it was DC Comics.
It actually has a certificate of authenticity with it.
Yeah.
Technically that's the first comic ever. The first real comic. It's the first one that was ever actually produced and made by a comic place. It wasn't like an insert in a newspaper or
Well,
a crummy little booklet. It was.
I want
to
to read it.
Actual comic.
I want to read it, and I'm afraid to open it.
I'm gonna open it.
That's back when Superman was OP and he was not a good superhero because he just did everything right and could do no wrong.
And then I saw a ton of this at PAX.
Oh, why?
This is coming off. Well, I'm gonna show you.
Oh, dang. That's sweet. He's the OG.
Vintage stuff, older stuff.
Mario
cool.
is the OG.
So you're
Love
gonna
it.
show that off.
So who's getting this shirt?
Me? That's my shirt.
Mario.
It's mine.
Mario.
Mom, you're gonna play Mario.
Shut your face. I've played lots of Mario. I actually got a lot of viewers when I totally failed at Mario Maker. People like watching me be a failure at video games. You should tune in. I should start doing a Twitch stream of like, I suck at video games. People would probably watch it.
I bet you they would.
What have you got? It's like clear.
That was supposed to be. That was
It is
in the back,
clear.
but
Oh,
it
really?
never went off the ground. Yeah, it was called Average Gamers Gym.
Oh,
It's just
yeah.
got average people playing games.
Oh, it's Captain America.
What is that?
It's a Captain
That's-
America shield.
The old shield.
Yeah, what is it like? It sounds like you're clanking metal against something.
No, it's plastic.
It's metal. The shield is metal.
The shield is metal?
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
it's heavy.
That's so metal.
That's cool.
Look, check that out.
Oh, it is metal. That's so weird.
That's what I said.
1940s Captain America shield.
And this is probably gonna be Colleen's.
I guess this box is like the.
Have you ever heard of a
box.
geeky tiki?
A geeky tiki? I'm
Mm-hmm.
afraid I've not heard of that. Oh, Donnie!
Oh lord, that is not showing up well.
No, give me Donnie. Give me. Donnie.
It's kind of like a shot glass. It's just,
But he's like a tiki, you know, a tiki.
yeah.
Geeky tiki.
And
I never heard of this before.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pen.
Oh, that's mine.
it's green,
oh,
too.
That's mine. Oh my god. Oh my
It
god.
has the original logo.
I know, I love it. Okay, this is all mine. This is mine.
So what?
This is
But the
mine.
name of this box was like original.
It was
or
like vintage, like the OG.
Yeah.
So yeah. That's so cool.
Mario made me think of vintage gaming will get lost in the download-only world. The other factor is finite life. You bought a game, but only as long as we leave it on the server. Aw, sad.
Yeah, I was kind of
True,
concerned
yeah.
about that. That we were talking about that last time, that we were a little concerned that that was something, or some of us were a little concerned that that was something that was going to happen. Oh my god, I love this pen.
And then if you turn this inside out, it becomes a comic book box.
Oh, nice.
So
That one's kind of cool. We're probably going to keep that.
I'm probably gonna keep that box. There's like two boxes because we have Harley Quinn's.
I really liked
hammer.
Harley's hammer. I thought that one was really great. I recycle a lot of the boxes. I know people keep them, but we have so many things. That's
And with
gonna
so
work
many
out nicely.
boxes.
I just
And
fold
I
it
buy
over the
so
bottom.
many things on Amazon
Probably going to put it on my
that
hat.
my stuff just came in today.
You have an Amazon problem, you do.
I do. But it's fun. But it's stuff that I need. Like my earbuds at work, they fell apart.
So you got some Beats by Dre?
No.
Terrible.
I'm just kidding. I was kidding. It was a joke.
Adam
this
says, "Yeah, I may have to get a loot crate. Get
Yeah.
on loot crate." Yes, Adam. You
This
need
loot
to.
crate was
This one was really good.
Really good.
They're hit and miss though.
Well, it depends on what part of fandom you like, right?
Yes.
So we got the one with all the Assassin's Creed stuff, and while it was interesting stuff, and it was like a pop figure, which I'm totally down for pop figures, I didn't really care anything about it, right? So it was like, eh. And we got the horror one, which I like horror stuff, but it wasn't anything... Like, aside from the Freddy Krueger chopsticks, which I don't
Yeah.
really use chopsticks, but Freddy Krueger's my thing. So I was like, that one was okay. Like, I would have liked other things. You know, so it is hit and miss. Like, sometimes you get really great
I
stuff.
use chopsticks. You want Leatherface though? I'll give you Leatherface.
Okay, I'll take those. I use chopsticks all the time, so.
Yeah.
I love chopsticks.
Yeah, so, I don't know. I would say, Adam, sometimes you can go on there and they have, like, surpluses.
Yeah, you can buy previous boxes up to like 6 months.
Yeah, you can go buy the previous boxes that you like.
I mean, they're a little bit more expensive than getting a deal for every month, but then you buy only the ones that you like and leave out the stuff you don't
Like, the
care
nice
for.
thing for Vincent and I
Well,
having
Thomas
this
is
show...
back. So yeah, this one is a really cool crate. It was
a
a really
really
cool
great
crate. I think I liked everything in it.
And I think the nice thing
I
about us
think we
having...
both had stuff in there that we liked. So.
having the show is when we go out and like meet people, like if we have a booth set up or whatever, if we have this loot crate stuff that's extra, like people can subscribe and stuff and we can make little baskets out of it and they can win stuff. So it gives us kind of that extra stuff too that we have in case it's not anything that we're like really into.
Yeah.
so-
But I think on this one, Nick, in Action Comics, this was the first superhero comic book.
Yeah.
They did other comic books. They just weren't like superhero comic books. This was the first superhero comic book
Yeah, that's what I meant.
that
It's like
came
the
out.
the thing that started the comic book revolution, basically.
The revolution. So yeah, that was really good. I liked that loot crate, but bummer that you had already seen what was in it.
Yeah.
Because that kind of ruined
Well,
some of the
I mean,
fun.
because we couldn't be on until then, until now.
Yeah, we
until
may
today.
need to. We may need to do like do specifically like a loot crate opening. A lot of people do them already though, so I don't know if we want to do that.
And we're in between getting our house renovated more,
and there's going to be more.
and there's going to be
And
more,
there's gonna be more.
and there's more, but no more around here.
No, there shouldn't be any more around this
So
area.
that's
This
gonna
area
be
should
good.
be done and good and ready to go and ready for guests. So hopefully we'll start getting some more guests in again.
Yes. I've been talking to some people. I've been talking to Stylish TV. Want to talk to them about geeky fashion.
Oh, cool. Alejandro would like that.
Yeah.
I can't wait for him to design some more of his stuff. He's going to have some
He
really
has
awesome.
He has some really cool
People
stuff that
loved
he
his
comes out
jacket
with.
when he was on. So you only have 6 more minutes left. Did you want to talk
Yes.
about any of the shows
So,
before
yes.
we run out of time? Or?
Let's talk about the big thing we want to be talking about, Riverdale. So, live action Archie comics. Colleen did not want to see this
Not at
show
all.
at all.
Not at all.
She was like, no, I'm going to hate it. I'm not going to watch it. So, I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch it. I've picked up some Archie stuff here and there back in the day. and I knew a little about it. And then with the resurgence of all the new Archie comics, like
Archie versus Predator and stuff.
Archie versus Predator, and then Archie
Archie.
versus
Yeah.
zombies or whatever.
So I have those. Yes.
So
Really good.
I haven't read them, but
So I
have
started
them.
watching Riverdale, and I watched the first episode. I just watched it today because Colleen has been harping on, I want to see it, I want to see it. So I didn't record the first one. Well, you didn't record the first one because I asked you to, and you were home and you didn't do it. So I watched it on demand. It finally came out, and I recorded the second one.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched the first one. I watched it all the way through this morning, and it was really, really good.
So then he comes to me and he's like, "You're really gonna like it." And I'm like, "No, I'm not." And he's like, "You're really gonna like it." I'm like, "No, I'm not." And I'm like, for the sake of this show, because I bashed it, and we're always saying we'll give things a chance, right? And we'll like report on them because that's what we're trying to do is like talk show-ish, report on things, right? So I'm like, fine, I'll watch this.
This is fine.
stupid
You think it means nothing when you say it because
he thinks
you like
everything's
everything.
great. Yes, and this is a true story. All of us who know him know that he, unless it's like Fantastic Four or reading
The new RoboCop.
the new RoboCop, he likes everything, right? So I'm like, whatever. This is gonna be stupid. Okay. So, first of all, I liked it. Okay. There are a few things that I'm struggling with. Because I'm a school teacher, I struggle with the whole Miss Grundy Archie relationship. It totally grosses me out. It's disgusting. And Miss Grundy's supposed to be like 90 years old. So
He has a relationship with Miss Grundy?
because she's a young hot music teacher.
Oh God, no.
Oh God, yes.
But there's a reason for it, which we're not going to tell you, but there's a reason for it.
The other way they got me.
There's a reason throughout the story of why. But go on.
So I'm, I graduated in 1991. I'm in my 40s. Who is Archie Andrews' dad? Luke Perry. Luke freaking Perry. So I
You
grew
look
up
so
like
old.
he is so old, but he's still Luke Perry. So I grew up totally like, being bullied, being that outcast kid. So for me, 90210 were those kids that I wished I could have been, right? They're all cool and popular and everybody loves them. So 90210 was a thing for me. So now all of a sudden we have 90210 Riverdale. I'm sold. Like, I can't help myself. I want to hate it, and it is totally 90210 Riverdale. Like, Pop Tates, like, it's just like the thing that they had in 90210 where they were all, like, there at the...
But with mystery.
But with mystery, too. So... I don't know, I really liked it. I didn't want to, but I kind of liked it because they have little, like, there's, like, little things that make Archie actually Archie, and there's little things that make Betty Betty, and but there's differences,
Veronica.
too. Like, there's these similarities to the comic, and there's these differences that make it, like, new and modern, but kind of like that mystery 90210 feel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, I hate it. I like this stupid show. So then he's like, watch the second one. So I'm like, yes, okay, yes. Now
Well, we got to see it together, the second one, because I just waited, because I watched the first one so I could just tell her what I thought.
Yeah.
And I was like, she's going to get hooked
So he watched
on
the
this
first one again for me so that I would watch the first one. And then I'm pretty hooked, and I'm like, well, let's watch the second one. And then I'm like, I really like this stupid show. So, yeah. I think if you liked Archie, and if you're used to, like, now we've gotten into, like, the Archie and the Undead and Archie and the Predator, and we've seen Archie as a little kid, and we've seen Archie as older. I think if you've gotten used to that, and in comics, you should be used to all these different story arcs and possibilities, right? Because it's the comic world. So, yeah, it was pretty good. I'm ashamed, but it was pretty good. And I read an article that they're actually, because Josie and the Pussycats is already on it, too.
Yeah.
Which is great. Like, it's kind of fabulous. And I was like, dang it, it's fabulous. I hate it. And so I read an article afterwards. I was, like, looking at stuff. And they're going to bring Sabrina, because Sabrina the Teenage Witch comes from Archie, too. Comes from that timeline. So they're going to bring her because the thing is they're probably going to revamp her show. So they're just going to kind of introduce her on Archie. And then she's going to have her own show again.
Oh, nice.
So, but more modern, like a more modern take and stuff like that. So, Because Archie's supposed to be more mystery, so they were saying in the article they didn't want to bring her in
this
for a very
seems
long
kind of
because it's
like
too supernatural.
Archie meets Teen Wolf.
It did kind of seem
Has
Teen
how that
Wolf-ish.
feel
And the new Teen
to
Wolf season is out, which you and I haven't started either, which
yeah.
I totally love Teen Wolf. And I know people didn't like it, but I totally loved Teen Wolf. I thought, again, you have
That was a good show.
Like,
I mean, but the people that would say those things about it didn't watch the show or have never watched the show.
Right, they were just mad because it wasn't like the Michael J. Fox movie,
Yeah.
which, I mean... So another thing that used to be a movie that you were saying that you, like, really liked, what's that new show that's coming out, Time After Time?
Oh, Time After Time, it
Yeah.
was a movie.
Yeah, it was a movie, but now it's going to be a TV show.
Yeah.
It looks good, too, because it's about, like, Jack the Ripper, but he comes into the present. It looks really good. It looks good, too. So I'm kind of looking forward to some of the upcoming TV stuff.
And it was with, what's his name? Annie McDowell.
But not the TV show, the movie.
The movie.
Yeah. So yeah, so I'm excited. Like, I bashed the heck out of Riverdale before we watched it because the thing I read, the actor didn't look right and the whole problem with Jughead, but then when you find out why they have problem, like, it's a thing. So I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, it's pretty good.
And I like Jughead's
his beanie.
hat, his
That's
beanie.
supposed to be like his little hat. Yeah.
That looks like his hat on the comic. It was cool.
It's good. Like, I wanted to hate it, Nick, but it's kind of good.
I love Archie, so.
Yeah, I think you're going to kind of like it. It's actually better than you would think. Yeah. So yeah, overall, and then, you know.
And just the little things that they say you find in the comics, which they did really great nods to the comics.
And I can just, you and I were talking about this a little bit, and I can just wait and hear because there are homosexual characters in it because we're in, you know, that day and age where it's more open and it's more discussed. But one of them is a brand new character who was never in the comics before,
Right.
and then the other one happens to be Moose, which if you read the comics, he kind of seems like it in the comics, right? Okay, good. Nick's nodding his head because those of us that read the
and
comics,
they start talking about sexual fluidity in there.
Yes, because the one gay kid who's super gay, he's telling Moose, you should probably stick with Midge because that's his girlfriend in the comics, and in the show he's like, you may kind of think you like this, but I don't know that you're cut out for it, kind of thing. So then they kind of talk about that fluidity of you know who you are and stuff. So I can hear people like having a fit about it already, but I thought it fit in.
It fit the character.
Yeah, it fit just fine. Yeah, I thought it fit just fine. And if you've read the comics, you should have already kind of had an inkling that he was probably like that anyway. To me, it always
Reggie
seemed like
Reggie.
Reggie's such a you-know-what, and that I can't say because I'm a school teacher. But yeah, he's like that in the comics, and he's an even bigger one in the show. So yeah, Reggie's Reggie, and yeah.
But Reggie was another one that in the comics had money.
Ish. He doesn't have money
Yeah.
like Veronica does, but in the show he has money too because they were talking.
Yeah.
Jughead was saying, "Here comes the money thing." So, so the only thing that I had a problem with was that student-teacher relationship is super gross for me, but it happens, you know, and it's it's.
Oh, and the cool thing is Jughead's narrator.
Jughead is the narrator. Yeah.
That's
Which
cool.
is I think where you get that Teen Wolf vibe, right? He's very
Yeah.
Styles-ish. Yeah. So it's very cool. I like it. And we are totally over our time limit. So
But we're talking about fun stuff, so it's cool. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed PAX. Nick did too. If Colleen went, she would have enjoyed it too. Riverdale was awesome. And of course we watched like Flash, and that was cool too, and Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow, and Shield. And you stopped watching Shield because you started hating it again.
I'm
I
like
think-
roller coaster with Shield.
I think you'll like this season. Because you were starting to like it, and then you started backing off again. Now you're going to like it again because...
I'm liking Supergirl, which I thought when it first came out I wasn't going to like it. I'm in love with Flash. Like, Flash is my number one right now, aside from Grey's Anatomy, but Grey's Anatomy is not geeky. But as far as geeky things, like, Flash is my number one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I fluctuate up and down with Arrow sometimes. And I fluctuate with Legends of Tomorrow. Sometimes I really like it, and sometimes like... If I have to see Damien Dark one more time, I'm just going to climb in the TV and stab him myself. Like, I can't stand Damien Dark, which is supposed to be,
from the Arrowverse.
you're supposed to dislike Damien Dark, but I just so dislike him. So.
But you even disliked him back when he was on Desperate Housewives.
Yeah.
He's the character easy to hate. He what else was he in that we hated him in?
I don't remember.
He just plays one of those characters.
He just plays that character where he's very good at being unlikable. Yeah. So. He's hard to deal with.
He does that very well.
He does it very well. He's earning his money.
And just watch, he's like the nicest
I don't
guy
care.
ever.
All I want to
in
do
real
is
life.
see the singing crossover. That's all I can wait for.
That's
I'm
gonna
like
be cool.
dying. I'm dying
that's
for
in
that
March,
to come
isn't
out.
it? I think
March
it's
is
in
gonna
March.
blow my mind. It's gonna be Logan. It's gonna be Beauty and the Beast. It's gonna be the singing crossover for Flash and Supergirl. March is just gonna be. I'm just gonna be like giddy all of March. I'm gonna be like, oh, there's so much singing. Ah.
And there's a lot of stuff coming out in February, isn't there?
I don't know.
Movies.
I have my eyes on March, so.
He was in, I think, Legends rocks. Yes, Legends is cool. And he was in Justified.
I don't think I saw Justified. I don't know. I don't even know the actor's name. I'd have to look it up. I'd have to IMDb it. But we should probably end the show and we can talk about it next week.
No. But thanks for checking us out again. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do that right now. If you like this video, press on like. If you didn't,
yay, like us. You know you
if
like us.
you didn't like us,
You
dislike
like
us, and we'll
get over it.
get over it. Or
I'm already over it.
we'll try to change things up so you see more. Or if you have a problem with something, let us know. Maybe if our volume isn't right.
Thank
We
you,
gotta
Adam,
fix
by the way.
something.
If my videos are too long.
But thanks for checking us out. I'm Vince.
I'm Colleen, and that's Nick.
Geek out, SA.
Toot, toot, toot.